Let's write some bomb-ass descriptions. Hey guys, I'm Marilyn and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about writing descriptions. So some consistent feedback I've been getting on my writing is that I'm really good at describing places and characters, so I thought I'd share how I write my descriptions on here. Before I dive into my 5 tips on writing descriptions, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell if you want writing advice videos like this one every single Friday. Let's dive in. So the first one is use the 5 senses. Now I know this may sound obvious, you've probably heard it everywhere, but very few writers actually implement it. So yes, sight is very important because it helps the reader visualize the setting or character, but if you only use this, then your descriptions will be a little flat and dull. So I also wouldn't recommend using all 5 senses in one description. So pick those that stand out. So unless your character can't see in that moment or overall, then sight will probably be one of the things you choose. It's pretty important. Then think about, is there a specific sound that the character would be picking up in this moment? Maybe there's a very strong, very particular smell, and then you focus on those. Maybe your character is seeing the gold of silk sheets while feeling the smoothness of it on their skin and smelling cologne. Maybe they're tasting chemicals in the air and smelling smoke. So choose 2 or 3 senses that would really stand out in this specific situation and focus on those. So not just sight, but not all 5 senses in one description. And then secondly, live through your character. So this goes for any form of narration that is close to the character. First person, third person subjective, third person deep stream of consciousness, etc. So where a description is written through a character's eyes, you need to convey the setting or character in the way that they would. So is your character very attracted to eyes? Is that usually the first thing they notice about people? Then they'd spend more time describing another character's eyes. Has your character never in their life smelled cow dung? Then that's probably something they're gonna notice quite aptly in their new setting. Is your character vain? Do they have any specific interests that might influence the lens through which they look at the world? An artist will notice different things than an architect or a builder. A writer might imagine an event or a character as a scene in a novel. They might notice the poetic or ironic aspects of something. A professional athlete might notice someone's aptness for a specific type of sport. And a chef might describe a taste experience a little differently than maybe just a hungry sailor. So make sure you engage in your character's senses, not your own. So see and live through that character. What would they be noticing? How would they be thinking about the place or the character that they are seeing for the first time, or that they are showing to the reader for the first time? Then thirdly, bring in emotion or association. So often places or people are poignantly described by associating them with other events, places, or people, or by focusing on the emotion that they evoke. So does the setting evoke wonder, disgust, fear? Does it look like a haunted house or like a fairy tale castle? Does a character radiate kindness or intimidation? Do they make your point of view character think of lazy days or of a roller coaster ride? So how can you describe the place or person on a deeper level than with just 5 senses? So even better if you can incorporate to 2 and make the association or emotion particular to that point of view character. And then number 4, use the right words. Now this tip has a few aspects to it. Firstly, it's important to orientate your reader through description, otherwise you can have floating head syndrome where people are talking but the reader has no idea where they are or what is happening. But it's important not to overdo the description so the plot starts lagging. So you need to convey what is necessary to immerse the reader in that experience with as few words as possible. So this requires using precise adjectives and adverbs. So don't string together long sentences of descriptors if two strong words could replace it. So as long as you don't end up sounding like a dictionary, a thesaurus is actually a very good tool to use. So look for the word that is specific to your intention and then use that. Secondly, it's important to consider the connotations of a word or the mood that a word creates. So if you're using a fairy tale, the word gross is probably less appropriate than the word grand, even though they could mean literally the same thing. So think of the mood you want to convey. How do you want the reader to experience the specific setting or character? And use words that will reinforce that mood. Magic and sorcery have different connotations. Secret and clandestine, good descriptions use the right words. And this is also something you can improve on or fix during editing, so you don't have to kind of nitpick on it during drafting and get stuck. And then finally, only describe what is necessary. Some things are universal. People have eyebrows. Toilet paper looks like toilet paper. A door is a door. So unless there's something noteworthy about an everyday object, it really isn't necessary to describe it. So you can just say, she opened the window. You don't have to describe the pane, the reflection of the sunlight through the glass, etc. Unless it's stained glass or a 3-story Victorian window or something like that. Sometimes it is fitting to describe something that most people have experienced or a lot of people have experienced, but you have to be cautious in doing so. It's only in very particular circumstances. For example, if you're writing a love scene, it might be a good idea to describe the feeling of sheets against the character's back, although most people in the world know what sheets feel like. So a good rule is not to describe anything your character isn't experiencing or wouldn't notice. This kind of links back to my previous point. So don't go into detail describing how a wind chime sounds when there isn't even a breeze. So don't describe the kitchen floor if it isn't something that your character would comment on, unless there's a very, very good reason for doing so. So that is it. Those are my tips on writing great descriptions. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell if you want writing advice videos like this one every single Friday. As always, you can find me on my website, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. All the links are listed below, and then I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye!